Hey Gators, today we're going to study our next human body system, the skeletal system. Most people, when they think of our skeleton and think of bones, they think of dead things, think about skeletons at Halloween. However, our bones are very much living organs made of several different types of tissues, which are made of cells, different types of cells working together that have the same requirements as other cells in our body, such as taking in nutrients, getting rid of waste, exchanging gases. We have over 206 bones of various shapes and sizes. Our skeletal system has 5 functions. The first one is it provides shape and support. It's our framework so we're not a blob on the ground. Think kind of like the cell wall does for a plant cell. It protects our internal organs. Our skull protects our brain. Our rib cage protects our heart and lungs. Our vertebrae, our backbone, protects our spinal cord, which we talked about in the nervous system was so important for transmitting messages. If we sever that spinal cord, our body can no longer send messages from our brain to our muscles, etc. Bones are attachments for muscles so that we can move. So when our brain sends a message to the muscle contracts and it pulls on the bone so that we can move. Otherwise, our skeleton would just be sitting there. Inside of some of our bones, we have bone marrow, which produces blood cells. And our bones are actually a storage area for calcium and phosphorus. Those are the minerals that help keep bones strong, but they're actually needed in other parts of our body. So in other parts of our body, when it's detected in our blood that our calcium level has dropped, we have special cells that will actually go break down bone and release the calcium back into our blood to be taken where it's needed. And then we have other special bone cells that will build the bone back up. So this helps keep our bones healthy and fresh. So just a picture of our skeleton. If we look at our long bone, this is our femur. It has a hard outer bone that we call compact bone. Inside we have the bone marrow, that cavity that has the bone marrow that produces those blood cells. Then we have spongy bone, which isn't what you think of when you think of a soft sponge. It's just spongy in that it has a lot of spaces inside, but it's not soft at all. It is still hard. If you feel the tip of your nose, that is cartilage. Your ear, that is cartilage. Cartilage is a connective tissue that's more flexible than bone. You can see it here in this picture, and it helps our bones from rubbing against each other. When you hear somebody has arthritis, that's the wearing down of that cartilage, and bones start to rub on each other, and it's very painful. Before you're born, your skeleton was made as cartilage. Then over time, our bone hardened, and we actually have more bones when we were born than we do now, because some of our bones were separated and they fused together later on in life. Usually about your teenage years is when that is complete. So, like I said, you have that cartilage at the end of long bones that help keep your bones from rubbing against each other. If you tear that, sometimes you have to have surgery. So the types of cells that we have in our bones, we have osteoblasts and both osteoclasts, and those work together to break down bone and build it up. They help repair bone and keep our bone from becoming too dense or too thin. Inside again we have that cavity, that bone marrow that produces blood cells. That's one of the important functions. You hear this a lot, but you want to take care of your skeletal system. You want to take care of your bones. Part of that is your diet. You hear about drinking milk. You hear about eating your veggies. Those are all important. Exercise is very important. The more we exercise, we give positive stress on our bones. We build them up and keep them strong and healthy. Stretching before you do your physical activities and PE and athletics, wearing additional safety equipment like helmets when you're riding a bike or playing football to protect your skull that's protecting your brain. And then sometimes some of us have had a break before. I broke my wrist in 5th grade. I'm sure several of you can have experiences such as that as well. A place where two bones come together is called a joint. This allows for movement. If we didn't have joints, our skeleton would be one solid piece. We wouldn't be able to throw a ball. We wouldn't be able to bend over and touch our toes. And ligaments are connective tissue that hold bone to bone. You can see that here in this picture. So cartilage is at the end there, and then you have tendons that are attaching the muscle to the bone, and then ligaments hold bone to bone at the joints. We actually have some places where joints allow for little or no movement, like in the skull and our ribs. We don't want movement there, but then we have movement in our, say our shoulder is a ball and socket joint that allows for about 360 degrees rotation. We have our pivot joint in our neck that allows us to shake our head yes and no, side to side. We have hinge joints in our knee and elbow that allow for back and forth motion, and gliding joints in our wrists and our vertebrae that help slide past one another for different types of movements. Some differences in women's skeleton and men's skeleton. There's not a lot, but men do have a more dense skeleton, heavier skeleton than females. And women, we have those hips, we have a wider pelvic area because this area is where the head of a baby needs to go through when a woman is having childbirth. Just some different pictures of skulls. These little lines you see are places where bones fuse together as the skull developed, and those are called suture lines. And then down here you can see a fetal skull, and you see those spaces where the cartilage is. This right here is that baby's soft spot. So we have to be really careful. There's room for the developing brain, and we got to make sure that in those places where it's not hardened, that the baby's head doesn't get any trauma. Just showing you hands on the left, feet on the right. Half your bones in your body are actually in your hands and your feet there. Here's our vertebrae, our backbone, and this is showing where a rib attaches. These are our top two bones in our vertebrae, our atlas and axis, and they rotate around each other to allow for that pivot movement. Just some other facts. Bones, again, we have those osteoblasts and osteoclasts that help repair bones and keep them healthy. We have a blood supply that goes to our bones because they're living. And again, we talked about that spongy bone at the end of our long bones, but it's not soft, it's still hard, it just has a lot of spaces. You see commercials on TV for osteoporosis. That's usually later in life, more common in women than men just due to some hormones. And that's when bones start to become brittle and can break easily. And things that we do in our teenage years, as far as our diet and exercise go, actually impact our likelihood of having osteoporosis as an adult. Some fun facts about the skeletal system. Like I mentioned, they're very much alive. Bones are really strong yet lightweight, like we were going to talk about in some of the activities we do. They can actually absorb more force without breaking than concrete or granite, as long as it's at a certain angle. We have 3 teeny tiny bones in our ear called the anvil, hammer, and stirrup. And we mentioned osteoblasts and osteoclasts, and again, it's important that we exercise because our body responds to that. So bones need stress. If you think about astronauts, especially way back in the day when they didn't have exercise-resistant things for astronauts to do in space, when they would come back after a couple of months being in space, they would barely be able to walk. Their bones had atrophied so much because of the lack of having any weight bearing in space as they floated around. So we need to make sure we do exercise and put weight on our bones. Our largest bone is our femur in the upper leg, our thigh bone. Cats actually have more bones than we do. I told you half your bones are in your hands and your feet. There was a time you can see where in old pictures where people used bones for jewelry and buttons. Some bones are still grounded down into fertilizer. We actually have the same amount of neck bones as a giraffe. They're just much bigger. And our bones are actually about half water and half solid material. And then remember, we do still have some part of our skeleton that never hardened and stayed cartilage, like your nose and your ears and the end of your long bones. And that sums up our skeletal system. And I hope you can remember again those 5 important functions of the skeletal system, which are to provide shape and support, for protection of our internal organs, to produce those blood cells, to store minerals like calcium and phosphorus, and to work with our bones to allow us to move.